distributors. What are they and how do I know if they're a good idea for my business?
There's different types of distributors, right? If you're selling like a consumer product and say you want to get into like Woolworths or Coles, pretty much most of the time they don't work direct with brands. They only work with distributors. So you'll probably have to get in with a food distributor.
Right.
Yes, can be quite hard. But distributors are going to take another cut on top of your wholesale margin. So they'll often take like another 20 or 25% cut. So you need to have your margins like really solid and your cost of goods as being as optimized as possible, because sometimes if you're selling to a distributor it might not be profitable. There are also distributors that go and will market your brand overseas. So if you're in Australia and you're like, I'm not going to go to Scandinavia, there might be distributors that can take your brand and they'll basically buy the stock from you and then market your brand and go and sell it into retailers for you. So basically acting as like your exclusive agent. So they'll exclusively have that territory or that country for you. Again, they're going to take that cut because they're putting the investment in and buying the stocks. It can be really good if you don't want to go into another region, but it can be tricky with margins. So you just got to really do your numbers.
So you talked about wholesale versus D2C and distributors. What about other things like online marketplaces?
This is another big area. There's the behemoth, Amazon. There's also like Etsy and eBay, but I think they are sort of maybe not as prominent as they used to be. There's also like other online platforms like The Iconic, Surf Stitch, Woolworths, Bunnings, Kogan. A lot of these legacy retailers are starting to open up online marketplaces. I think they can see when brands are starting to get a bit of traction and they kind of want a little bit piece of that pie. So they'll invite brands to sort of join their online marketplace. But online marketplaces are going to take much less of a cut than say a wholesale margin, so that you don't want to be selling to them at wholesale. And if they ask for that, don't do it.
Okay,
don't do it.
No.
Yeah, they should be taking maybe like 15 to 20%.
Yeah.
I know with Amazon, like you have more like listing fees, but then there can be like advertising costs. You do have to advertise on Amazon to sort of get any sort of traction. The problem though with online marketplaces is you generally don't own that customer and you don't have that customer's details. So you're not adding that person to your mailing list. You don't have any of their data, so you can't really sell them any more products. You're sort of bound by the marketplace. So that's another thing to think about when you're trying to build your brand and build up your customer database.
What about drop shipping?
Drop shipping is when someone lists your product on their website and then they take the order, they take the money, and then they will send the order to you and you fulfill it. So you will send it direct to the customer. The customer won't even know that's how it works. They just assume that it's come from the marketplace, basically. This used to be really massive where people would drop ship straight out of China, like Aliexpress, and suppliers that would drop ship directly to customers for them. So it was like really low risk. And a lot of these online marketplaces like The Iconic, Bunnings, Kogan, they're all basically a drop ship model. So they're listing all of your products on their website and then you're fulfilling it and sending it direct. And they love that because basically they don't have to hold the stock, they don't have to buy the stock, and they don't have to ship it. So it's great for them. They should be taking much less of a cut. They should only be taking a small percentage off your sale. I think also with like the rise of Temu and Shein and these marketplaces where people are going just direct, the customer's going direct to China, they're cutting out that middleman. I think that old drop shipping model is sort of disappearing.